Hey friends, it's Saturday morning. This is a Mic Talk. You're at Song and Sword. Thank you guys for joining me once again. I love you all, praying for you all. Text prayer to that number on the screen. I want to pray with you and for you for everything that's going on in your world. Don't think it's too small. Don't think it's too big. God hears prayers. So let us know your prayer request and we'll pray with you. Song and Sword, we proclaim Jesus with the song of grace and the sword of truth, and that's what we're going to do tomorrow. This is the day before the Lord's Day. Saturday, I just kind of start to get excited as a pastor as to all that God's going to do tomorrow. So join us at 9 and 10:30 if you can. If you have kids, 9 o'clock is the place for you. We've got a great kids program and all the way through 5th grade. So it's fantastic, and we'd love to have your kids there, your grandkids there, your neighbor kids there. If you get your neighbor kids, make sure the neighbors know that you took their kids. All right? God bless you guys. Hope you're well again. Something else about tomorrow, if you're attending our local services, make sure that you bring back your boxes. We gave, I think we're at 220 now. 220 boxes for Operation Christmas Child with Samaritan's Purse. We've filled them, and now it's time to bring them back this week and next week. But if you have them, bring them back tomorrow. And we want to display all that God has done. 220 boxes, guys. 220 lives of kids throughout this world that will get gifts, Christmas time, all kinds of cool stuff. And they'll get the message that someone loves them in Jesus' name. So that's what we're doing. So I hope you guys have participated. Sarah's got our 2 boxes filled, and we'll bring those tomorrow. I encourage you to bring them as well. 1 Chronicles chapter 16 is where we're going to be today. 1 Chronicles 16. And it's David's song of thanks after they finally bring the ark into the tent that he has set up in Jerusalem. As we're going to learn tomorrow, I got a great sermon tomorrow. Tune back in here at this YouTube channel. Or just show up at church. We'd love to have you there. But we're talking about singing in the church. And of course, David was one of the leaders in singing. In chapter 16 of 1 Chronicles, verse 23, sing to the Lord, all the earth. Tell of his salvation. Declare his joy among the nations, his glory among the nations, his marvelous works among all the people. For great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. And he is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the peoples are worthless idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Splendor and majesty are before him. Strength and joy are in his place. Ascribe to the Lord, O families of peoples. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. Bring an offering and come before him. Worship the Lord in the splendor of his holiness. All kinds of things to say there. David is obviously, this is a song that David's singing, a song of thanks, and he goes on and on and on about how great God is. And he says to sing to the Lord, all the earth. Everybody in the earth sing to the Lord because he's great. He's done marvelous works. You can never run out of things to say. One of the things we'll talk about tomorrow is that worship goes on and on even into eternity because it never gets old. We never get tired of telling God that's how good and how big he is. But I want to focus on this word at the end of verse 29 that we just read. Worship the Lord in the splendor of holiness. Worship the Lord. Now, most of us that have grown up in church, we assume that singing is worship. In fact, most people will say, hey, it's time for worship, and they probably are indicating it's singing. And that's partly true, but it's not all the way true. The word worship here is the word shakah. Shakah. And in the Hebrew language, it literally means to get lower, to what they say, prostrate oneself, to get down on the ground. Really, when you think about worship, it's not just singing. It is how close to the ground can you get and how high can you push God up. And so when we sing, we elevate him with our words and with our voices, with the music. We push him higher and higher. In fact, if you want to look at this other cool word, tell of his salvation from day to day, verse 24, declare his glory. The word glory is the word kabod. It means weighty. Give him the weight. Lift him up to the place where he deserves to be. And that means lowering yourself. And so let's go back to this word worship, this word worship, shakah. It means to get low. It means to bow down. It means to humble yourself. And so what can be worship? Well, not just singing. In singing, we lower ourselves by saying God is great and we are not. So that is one form of worship, but worship can take many forms. Any way in your life, anything you do in your life that makes God higher and you lower is worship. So you can do that through your serving, you can do that through your giving, you can do that through your words. Every part of your life can be a worship if you lower yourself, if you humble yourself and make God great in every conversation. I was just having a conversation with this lady over here who made my coffee. And I was able to tell her that God's blessing will be on her today. And she said, that's very sweet. No one's ever said that to me. I'm like, well, I'm trying to worship God today. I'm trying to make him higher than everything else. And I'm trying to make myself lower. So if you want to understand worship today, make yourself low. Maybe you want to literally bow down. I say this from time to time for people. Posture is important in worship and it's important in prayer. And if it's been a while since you've gotten on your knees to pray to God, if it's been a while since you've laid face down before God, then maybe try that. It may seem a little weird to you, but kneel down today before God. It will help you understand. I practice it a lot because it helps me understand my position before the Lord. If you lived in the Old Testament days, and anybody that had a higher standing, a higher rank, a higher power than you came into your presence, you would bow down to them, you would shakah. And that is a form of worship. You lower yourself, and it's not a bad practice for prayer. Maybe today, find a few minutes as you get ready your hearts for tomorrow and for church in the house of the Lord. Why don't you kneel down, tell God how great he is, and worship him in a variety of ways. God bless you guys. Hope to see you tomorrow. Peace.